Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Hey, we're here. Come on. Come on. You're on his back.
Jeanette Halsworth says she recorded this video Monday around 8 p.m. after hearing a commotion near her home on Lawton and Fruitdale Avenues. The video shows at least 3 San Jose police officers holding down a homeless man they called Oscar.
His knee was pressed into his face, pushing his face into the dirt, is what I'm trying to say. And so I just ran straight up to them. I was like, guys, get off him. Like, the first thing it came to mind was seeing the video of George Floyd in 2020. And I was like, we don't.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
That was just a small clip of the litany of bystanders in San Jose, California, the Bay Area, whining and crying about the treatment of a suspect by 3 brutal San Jose officers. It also didn't show where it did absolutely have a video of an officer throwing haymakers at that suspect. The NAACP has filed a formal complaint. The mayor and the police department are looking into this, and my response is, just like yesterday when we were talking about we need to get all the facts, is before people like this non-binary appearing person, I don't want to assume their gender.
Non-binary.
I don't know if it was, I don't want to assume.
You mean the butch-looking white woman?
Okay, I don't want to assume anyone's gender.
The butch-looking
right?
white woman.
I want to be polite, but she was very angry at the police. She brought up the memory of George Floyd, and she was very mad. But here are some details, Quanell. There's a man, an unhoused man that is in this neighborhood that has been looking into a woman's window right up close. Apparently the day before, he was not merely playing Peeping Tom, he was doing so while he had his penis out and was massaging his own penis while staring at this woman, right? And of course, this time, the second time in as many days, is he was again in the woman's window, which is a horrifying violation of a person's sense of privacy and safety. Same man, same MO. Police are called. They actually come out, which is unusual in San Jose that you get a rapid response enough to catch a criminal. But they get out there, they catch him, and what does he do? He bites a police officer. And there's a huge difference. You know, obviously in the George Floyd video, prior to them pressing on him and asphyxiating and killing him, he was being somewhat obstinate. He slid across and fell at the car. He was really doing everything he could to convince them and to physically prevent them from putting them in jail without assaulting the officers, without physically resisting in a way that could harm any. So there's really no analog, right? There's nothing in between the murder of George Floyd and this well-deserved whooping that this guy took for being a pervert. And you can't beat someone for being a pervert. I'm not mad at someone for beating a pervert that is terrifying young women, but you can't do that. But when someone bites you, right, which it can convey all kinds of diseases, from HIV and hepatitis to a number of other diseases, you get to make sure that he doesn't get another chance to bite you. And if that means shoving his face in the ground, it's okay. When someone bites you, you get to use the force necessary to effect the arrest, and that includes punching somebody. And let me tell you something, if you're gonna shove someone's face in the ground and punch somebody, well, this, and it wasn't just her, there were a long list of I didn't see anyone trying to protect the woman who was being spied on and terrified, right? They weren't out there worried about her, but they're out there worried about the homeless, biting, jacking it pervert, which just shows you how screwed up they are in California.
Charles, first of all,
I know, team pervert. Go ahead.
There is some aspects of the video that is disturbing to me. And if police went too far in restraining and arresting him and violated his human, civil, and constitutional rights, then if he was handcuffed like it appeared to be and they were still kneeing him and punching him, that's going too far. But I think it's important that we put the whole story in context. To all of those people who were angry with the police for arresting him using such physical brute force, we don't want to see the man violated and treated unfairly. But wait a minute. To all of them, to the woman, the white woman who was on the video, do you care
There are
about
upset people of color, too.
If you care that much about that homeless man and you're the neighbor, well then tell him to come to your house and let him pull out his penis and choke his chicken in your window and stare at you. Since you so liberal with your understanding and like he shouldn't be treated like that, well then let the freak come look through your window and play with himself and then see how you feel. Look, man, that dude, that pervert, if he's really guilty of that, if he was really doing that, Charles, he's lucky to make it out alive. Because there's some men and some fathers and some sons and some brothers and some uncles and also neighbors. If you catch a man beating his meat and choking his chicken in your wife or your family members' windows, then you gonna kill him. He's lucky to make it out alive. I think that that's a little bit too much sympathy that we showing to a pervert, a sexual predator who's staying in the windows of women, stroking his chicken and strangling his meat and having fun looking in somebody's window. Can you imagine the sheer terror that he puts into any woman who catches him doing that? Can you imagine this same dude may have been doing that to little girls' windows in the neighborhood? I don't see a whole lot of sympathy for this man at all. In fact, a good kicking is exactly what he needed and taken straight to the jailhouse, because in jail when they find out what he's been doing, he's gonna have some bigger problems.
Well, I mean, we live in this, especially in big cities in California, but big cities across this country, where you've seen this hard left turn where they think that if we are non-responsive to crime, it'll lower crime stats, thus create the appearance of safety without actually having to achieve safety. So you don't have officers that show up quickly a lot of times. And I'm not blaming the rank and file officers, although there are plenty of them who are embracing the excuse to be lazy, there are still a number of good cops, right? And it would have been very easy for a cop just to drive by and say he didn't see anything.
But there are far too many cops who are doing bad things.
No, there's not. There's far too many cops not doing enough work.
Cops
but
who
these
doing
cops
bad things.
Went out and found this guy, right? And honestly, I believe the only reason that NAACP is filing a formal complaint and upset is because of the color of the pervert's skin. I don't think the NAACP cared if it was a white pervert, right? I don't think anyone should. Look, if this guy was truly masturbating while on other people's property,
he deserves no sympathy.
I just
he
don't
deserves
care,
no sympathy,
right? And if he goes even further, and when they try to arrest him, he fights, runs, and bites an officer. Man, come on.
But let me say this to you, Charles.
Because I know you'd have beat him to the hospital.
Oh, hell yeah,
and drug him inside.
Hell yeah, I would have. But let me say this to you, if not worse. But Charles, too many cops, and I've seen this quite a bit in cases that come to my desk. Cops will beat the hell out of a suspect, know what they did was wrong, and then what they'll do, they'll lie and say, well, he kept resisting when the suspect was not resisting. They'll take tasers and taser the suspects and put your hands behind your back, and when you're being tasered like that, you can't put your hands behind your back, and they pretend like that's resisting. And then what the cop will do is turn around and say, well, the perp assaulted me, and so I'd use that force which was necessary because I also was a victim of an assault. Well, then later to learn when the video comes out, the suspect never assaulted the cop. So Charles, there are some cops who are out there, far too many in my opinion, in these police departments that try to cover up physical abuse of suspects by lying and saying they were victims of assault themselves.
So when we had this promulgation of cameras, which I think cameras protect good cops from bad people and good people from bad cops, but we did have and still have officers that will yell, stop resisting, simply for the camera, simply. And obviously when someone's done something wrong, they're gonna search for a reason to cover it and protect it. But I think far more often in America, we are allowing people to get away with being violent, with being assaultive, with doing the things that they should get touched up for, because people are concerned about this knee-jerk, what we saw here. We didn't see all the interviews, but this knee-jerk, cops are bad, bad guys good, that these people, like this one person, and I don't think anyone's going to her house. I think if you go to her house and peep in the window, you're probably going to the next house. Or if it's her, not an attractive person, but they're angry and their anger.
Homophobic?
Their anger.
Are you being homophobic?
No, I'm just saying
I
the
think
person
you're being
wasn't
homophobic.
I'm just saying they weren't attractive.
Yes, I think you're being
I wasn't
homophobic.
gendering at all. But here's the thing.
I know she looked like being a Bob from the mechanic shop, but I think you're being homophobic.
Okay. Anyhow, I'm just jealous of the haircut. I wish I could grow it. But anyhow, I think that we need to stop saying always cops the bad guy, cops the bad guy. Because there are some people that bring a punch to the face on themselves.
That's true,
and we need to get back to America where those people are getting punched in the face.
Got to hold cops accountable that go too far.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Please help me understand this. My lights got turned off, so I called my baby's father and asked him if he could get my lights turned on for me. He said no, because I have a husband and that's his responsibility. How is that his responsibility to pay my lights to get turned back on after they get turned off? That you have kids that stay here. You don't care about your kids? I understand that I have a husband, granted, don't beat me up over it, but we fell on hard times. So as my baby's father, I feel like you're supposed to pick up the slack. So you rather for your kids be in the dark than to help your baby mother get her lights turned back on? What if I didn't have a husband? Would you have helped me then? These men is crazy. Sir, help me get my lights turned on. Don't.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, that was a pretty wild video, man, of what we just watched and what we just witnessed. Apparently a woman who is divorced from her ex-husband, her children's father, she's remarried now, has fallen on financial hard times, and her lights were turned off. So she reached out to the ex-husband, who's the father of those children, and say, listen, my lights are turned off. Can you help me get them turned back on? Because we're in the dark. And he said, no, because you have a new husband. That is his responsibility. He's absolutely right. That is the responsibility of your new husband. Yes, it is. But to the ex-husband, who's the father of those children, it's also your responsibility to make sure your children are in a safe, healthy, clean living environment that's productive for their proper development. So what he should have done is say, I'll come by and pick up my children and let them live with me and stay with me until you're able to get your lights turned back on. But if it was one of my ex-wives, Charles, and I have a couple of them, I have to be honest, if one of my ex-wives who's remarried, and they are, had called me and said, look, the lights are turned off. Can you help me get the lights turned back on? Even though she's remarried, I would have did it. And the reason why I would have done it is because my children are there. You understand? And so as a father who loves his children, when I love myself, I'm gonna look out for my children. And I'm gonna tell her, hey, look, you and your man need to get it together and get my money back to me. But what I don't also like was why the new husband didn't tell his wife, don't you dare do nothing like that. If I got to go on the corner and beg for the money, I'll beg for it. Or why did the new husband say, let me call your ex-husband, explain the situation to him and say, hey man, can you loan us the money and I'll get it right back to you as soon as we get it. But I don't want the children and us to be in the dark right now, but I'm gonna get it right back to you, brother. Be a man and call the ex-husband yourself. Don't put your new wife up to call her ex-husband to get some money that you don't have, the lights are turned off. But that woman is crazy as hell, because it's not his responsibility to take care of you and your new man. It's not your ex-husband's responsibility to make sure you and your new man got lights. Now, what if, Charles, the ex-husband said to her the next week, well, look here, baby, I've fallen on some lonely times. And just like you said, you fell on hard financial times. Well, I've got some lonely times over here, and I need something over here. You need to come over here and fall. That's hard on for you, honey. So come on over here and fall on something hard, like I stood up with my pocket for you when you had financial hard times. Well, I'm lonely and hard over here. Why don't you come fall on this over here for me so I can feel better? See, she wouldn't like that. She would feel that's wrong. First thing she would say, what? I got a husband. Hell yeah, you got one. But it was okay to say I still got a husband, but give me some money, we'll get my lights turned back on. But if the roles were reversed, what would her response be? And what would the new husband's response be if the ex-husband said to him, well, look here, homie, your wife called me when your lights was turned off, so she got to come over here and put some work in also. Make some dinner, make these beds, come rub my back in the shower and all that there. Well, what you mean that's your wife? Well, it wasn't your wife when you had her calling me for some money.
Well, I made many points there, Quadell. Initially, I don't see the husband-wife or even the ex-wife situation. I don't think it can be reduced to prostitution. I don't think this woman should owe someone sexual favors because she needed some money. I think the very suggestion is misogynist and ludicrous, and I disagree. But I know you disagree with that take, but let's go back.
A fair exchange ain't no robbery.
I didn't call it robbery.
A fair exchange ain't no robbery.
I didn't call it robbery. I called it prostitution.
How's it prostitution?
Well, because you're expecting an exchange of sex in return for money.
Wait. So what is she expecting if he give her his money?
Well,
get the lights turned back on.
Hold on.
And so if I give you my money to turn your lights back on, come back over here at my house and help turn the lights off.
Okay, I get it, right? But I don't
Teddy
agree
Pendergrass,
with
you ever heard it? Turn off the lights.
There are some questions, right? So I would agree with you that it wouldn't be the man's responsibility, but one thing that wasn't addressed is whether or not this man was paying child support, right? And if this man isn't paying child support, then he absolutely needs to give her the money.
But what if he is?
That's a hard stop. Well, hold on. But that's all. It was not addressed. But if he, like so many men today that have had children and abandoned their responsibilities and went off into the world to live their lives and aren't taking care of business, well, if he's one of those guys, and there's a whole bunch of them, then he absolutely should have just given her the money without any question.
But she didn't make that allegation in that video.
I get it.
And if he was those kind of men, she'd have said something.
I get it. We don't know. But let's assume that he's paying his child support dutifully, and he is involved and active in his kids' lives, and like she said, they're on hard times, then I would have said, hey, I'm going to come pick up the kids. Let me know if, once you get your lights back on, I'll bring the kids back. I don't want to interfere with the custody order because that can be a crime in some situations. But let me. And if the mother refused, I'd have picked up and called CPS. I'd have called Child Protective Services right away and said, my children are in a home without electricity because they're not taking care of their business. Because you're not going to convince me that they didn't prioritize other things other than the light bill. You're not going to convince me that people,
but it could be really hard times. It could be really hard times.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question.
It happened.
So if the ex-husband had told her, say, look, I realize you got a new husband, and I realize your lights are turned off. My child support is paid up. I can come and pick the kids up and get them back to you when the lights are turned back on. But if you expect me to go well beyond the call of duty now and give you some money to cut your lights back on, and you got a husband, well, then I expect something from you too.
I think that's ridiculous.
No, wait a minute.
You shouldn't be like, you got to come break up.
No, wait a minute. So now if the ex-wife can get his money for free, and he's paying child support, so he can't tell the ex-wife, if I'm going to give you this money, you got two choices. You can sit on it or spit on it. But the bottom line is, I'll be damned you get my money for free with your new husband, so y'all can lay up in cool air and watch Netflix out of my pocket, but then tell me I ain't got a right to ask your new wife to come on over here and make a daily deposit.
I don't think that we need to.
Well, then don't ask that man for his money.
Well, but there are other ways. You could say, hey, your husband can come over here and cut my lawn. You could do this. You could do that. And yes, there could be the fact that they
wait a minute, though.
But the most
I agree with you.
Most people
she can go over there and cut the lawn, edge it up too, cut the weeds.
Okay.
Trim the bushes.
I think we're talking about different things.
What do you mean? Fertilize the lawn.
Okay. Again, I imagine.
Well, then leave your ex-husband alone then. Okay. Quit begging that man for his money.
Okay. But your children, you said you would pay the money.
I would.
Would you make your ex-wife come over there and service you?
No, I wouldn't, because I believe in forward forever, backward never. And look here, once I'd have moved on, baby, it's a wrap. But look, man, I got to be honest with you. For her attitude is the problem. That's what I have a problem with. Her attitude in that video is the problem. She had a very ungrateful attitude, a very indifferent spirit. Like that man, the ex-husband, owes her something when you got a whole new husband in the house with you.
I will say it was also very clear that she wasn't missing any meals, right?
No, she wasn't.
There wasn't no, I'm struggling, because I remember as a kid, having, we didn't have money, having an empty, primarily empty pantry, but it would be the stuff that I needed would be there, and that my mom would go without, right? Like,
have you ever heard of Uncle Earl?
Yeah, I have not.
You should YouTube Uncle Earl.
Okay.
Because he gives very sound, intelligent advice, Uncle Earl. And he could have gave that young woman and the ex-husband and the new husband some sound advice how to handle the situation.
How would Uncle Earl suggest that be resolved?
He's got two favorite colors, green and gold. Gold for the honey and green for the money.
Okay, see, is Uncle Earl another one of your favorite pimps?
No, Uncle Earl's a very highly intelligent elder in our community. And the bottom line is,
I think they're intelligent pimps.
Two favorite colors. Gold for the honey, green for the money. You want my money? Come on with the. And I'm talking black, and I ain't talking black tie honey.
This is what shocks me about you, Quanell. Like sometimes.
Well, then ask your husband for the money and leave your ex-husband alone. Okay. Now, here you figure this man owe you something.
Sometimes it takes, because sometimes we get very religious Quanell, right? Who is very religious and very proper and believes in it. And sometimes we get Quanell, women should be paying for things with sex, Quanell.
No,
how do you reconcile those two?
I'm giving
Are you like Jekyll and Hyde?
No,
and is this Jekyll or is this Hyde?
No, I'm giving you the attitude that an ungrateful woman like that deserves. I'm giving you the disposition and the psychological approach that an ungrateful woman like that deserves. That woman spoke like he owed her something.
Maybe he walked out on her like
I can see why he walked out on her. She's crazy, and she lets you wait by 450.
I don't think that's we don't know the whole story.
She's crazy, ungrateful, and she looked like the Goodyear tire man.
With the mother of their children, you wouldn't have this damn issue.
You
more
better ask
people
your husband.
Need to stay married.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in, because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
where on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul. It's time for today's Face Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quanell X and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Talking about this all week, but Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, she penned an op-ed in The Nation this week, and her op-ed talked about that we think that democracies the way they die is dramatically through these wars and blood is shed, and it's cinematic in a sense. But really, the realistic way in which democracies die is that it's dismantled brick by brick, piece by piece. And she says that what we are seeing now with the lawlessness from this administration are really the canaries in the coal mine gasping for air. I'm paraphrasing here. But to me, that is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison, that is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records, that is why this is so important. Because if they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. And to be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right, and that's certainly part of why the African-American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So, Quanell, that was MSNBC host and pundit Simone Sanders saying that if our country is allowed to remove members of notorious criminal gangs, then in fact the next step is removing people of color citizens and sending them to foreign lands. Now Trump has said, I might send some criminals overseas, which I don't think can be reconciled with the U.S. Constitution, but I do think that this is just more absurdist scaremongering by the left. She talks about lawlessness, right? The true lawlessness was the Biden administration's decision to allow some estimates up as high as 20 million illegal migrants to enter this country and then disappear into the country with no oversight. The Democrats to set up sanctuary cities that refuse to work with the federal government and allow people that molested children, raped women, killed people, robbed people, assaulted people to remain in this country, where other countries, if you say the wrong thing, you're thrown out, right? In other countries, they police their immigration issues and their borders so much more strict than we do. But this was an effort, I think, the coordinated effort by the Democrats to bully people into accepting lawlessness in the realm of immigration. We still have people talking about, we had a U.S. Senator fly on the taxpayer dime to El Salvador to meet with this fella. We've seen video after video. There was a famous one with Michael Strahan interviewing his wife where she just fell mute and could not in any way explain why she sought protective orders alleging that he was a domestic abuser. We have seen a mountain of evidence, including tattoos and interaction with law enforcement, that he was an active member of MS-13.
That's not true.
It's absolutely everything I'm saying is true.
The United States government
they
went into court
and
said and admitted in court that they had no proof that he was a part of MS-13.
That's not true.
Or any other gang.
That's not true.
And the United States government has already admitted
that
some that have been deported didn't have criminal histories, didn't have criminal records, and that they were not gang members. And when the U.S.
That is not true.
And when the federal courts ruled that they should bring the gentleman back in particular who was wrongly deported, the Trump administration turned around and lied and said we don't have the power to bring him back because he's now in El Salvador. Charles, I apologize for cutting you off.
No, it's
but
nothing new.
This resembles a lot of what Trump is doing. Scares me, and I'm gonna be honest with you,
But
man.
do you think he's going to direct it at black people
Let
next?
me tell you, I said on this show, and I said to you 2 weeks ago, Charles, in this very seat, I warned black people that Trump is going to use the war on crime and gang members and criminal activity as an excuse to cut a deal with a foreign government to send prisoners out of America into a foreign land. Then he turned around right before, after I said it, it came out. He told the El Salvadorian president and the Venezuelan president that they were willing to work with him and take American prisoners. And he said, I have no problem with that. I think it's a great idea. Charles, this is the same man that says that perhaps we need to it's time to rewrite some parts of the Constitution. This is the same man that said he wanted to change birthright citizenship. This is the same man, Charles, that's now pushing for legislation to give benefits to more people having babies in America. He wants to push, having more babies in this country. I'm asking black and brown people, do you think that Donald Trump is interested in America having more black and brown babies? No. The Trump administration is working with white-wing Christian conservatives to motivate and inspire white women and white families to have more babies, because in the right, the extreme right, they are fearful of genetic annihilation and the browning of America. Donald Trump is resembling some of the aspects of the Gestapo, and it concerns me. Fighting terrorists, okay, man, I understand that. Cleaning up corruption and wrongdoing in government agencies, okay, I understand that. But now some of these things he's doing, Charles, yes, I do believe, as our sister said, Miss Sanders, I believe her name is, on MSNBC, I believe she's correct that he is planning something to come after black people. Yes, I believe so, because he's already said he would have no problem sending prisoners away to a foreign country. He's already said we're removing the immigrants that are gang members and criminals. Well, what the hell you think they think about black men and black people?
Okay, now that you're done with that very long-winded interruption, let's talk about when you talk about terrorist organizations. Right? We're not 2 years removed from the Biden administration and the complicit media telling America that we were wrong about Trinidad, Nicaragua, that the allegations that they took over whole apartment complexes was conspiracy theory nonsense and all this, and it turned out to be true, right? There's a reason why the people that control the Democratic Party, not all Democrats, but the people that control the party and the media, that is their lapdog, there is a reason why they don't frame Trinidad, Nicaragua, MS-13, and a host of other violent street gangs that are filled with people from El Salvador, Honduras, Venezuela, and other countries, right, as a terrorist organization, because the victims, the main victims of their terrorism, right, is other foreign nationals, is poor people, is people that live in communities of color, that those organizations do not see as important, that have created environments of incredible crime and lawlessness that people suffer from every day. And in fact, instead we get this lecture, oh, crime is historically down, oh, it's not happening, when we have entire neighborhoods where people don't feel safe. They are terrorized. And that crime is just as important as crime that impacts the lives of wealthy, rich, white people, right? But our government doesn't treat it the same, and the media doesn't treat it the same. What we want in America is we want law-abiding, rule-following people to immigrate to this country and grasp at the brass ring of Americanism. What we don't want is people that come from developing nations who hate America, people that come from developing nations to rob and commit crime tourism, people that come and want to shift America in another direction, whether it be Sharia law or socialism and communism, people that aren't interested in America, that are just interested in seeing what they can take from America, we don't have to
But he's
have them
locking
here.
up people for freedom of speech.
Well, it's not freedom of speech when
Charles,
you're advocating for
he's
terror,
putting- he's-
and when
he's
you're a
putting
guest in
immigrants-
this country,
He's putting
you're
immigrants
just that.
in
You're a
jail
guest.
for freedom of speech.
So if I went to
and
Saudi
then Charles,
Arabia,
and then Charles turning around and saying that they don't deserve due process. Charles, even the United States Supreme Court just
due
ruled.
process is
the
different.
U.S. Supreme Court just ruled that they deserve due process.
no, they made a temporary halt to examine the issue, but due process.
And said that they deserve due process.
Due process for illegal entrants and people that have overstayed visas or people that have violated the terms of their visa is very different than a due process and so to citizens. But far more importantly, if I went to, let's think of Islamic nations, if I went to any Qatar, if I went to Egypt, if I went to Saudi Arabia, if I went to Iraq, if I went to Iran, and I went in there and I started advocating for terror, if I started advocating for crime, if I started running rallies, I'd probably get executed.
So you
let
believe
alone
that the
deported.
young Muslim, the two Muslim students, the young female and
I
the
think
male,
everyone
Brother
that
Khalil being one of them,
Brother
that
Khalil.
they were advocating
He was
for
absolutely-
terrorist activity
he
in
was
America?
absolutely advocating
no,
for terror.
Charles.
And he was here on a
There's
student
no
visa.
evidence whatsoever to
He's
back that up,
absolutely
Charles.
advocating
And that's wrong.
for terrorism on the campus of Columbia and for the horrifying anti-Semitism that I'm sure you
Did
applaud.
not the Trump
but-
administration classify MS-13 as a terrorist organization?
Yeah, good for him. Thank God.
Trinidad Wilder
Thank
too,
God.
right?
Thank God.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the Trump administration will ever declare the Crips and Bloods terrorist organizations?
Well, it's different.
Will
'cause we're
they?
talking
Do
about-
you think that they will label
you want
the
an
Crips
answer?
and Bloods and Vice
Do you-
Lords
do you-
as domestic terrorist groups?
Well, they're already labeled as violent criminal organizations, right? The difference is, and the key difference is that Trinidad and Agua and MS-13 are foreign groups, right? Filled with foreign nationals committing terror on mostly poor
But the law
people
says something
here in the
different.
United States.
The law
and
states-
thus, that allows the Trump is using that reality
Charles-
to protect the poor and to remove monsters.
But Charles, since
Instead of
9/11,
applauding it,
but since
is
9/11,
saying-
Charles,
right.
if you are labeled
I'm
a
familiar with
domestic
the-
terrorist group,
okay,
that they can suspend constitutional rights for you and prosecute
not-
you and
it's
lock
absolutely
you
not
up
true.
without a court, without even a court date.
that
if
is
you're
absolutely
classified
not true.
as working as a terrorist domestic organization inside of America, yes, it can
No,
happen.
you are engaged
and
in the same sort of
9/11
fear-mongering
and 9/11
that was
made
not
that
Americans.
possible. So
No.
I'm asking you, do you think that the Trump administration and its quote-unquote war on crime that's coming, do you think that they're going to label the Crips, the Bloods, and other little street gangs like that as domestic
And
terrorist
my
groups?
answer is they've already been labeled as a violent criminal organization. There's not another label.
A terrorist?
right?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Because
again,
criminal organizations, you don't fall
again,
under those Homeland
I mean,
Security laws.
According to Biden
Those Homeland
administration-
Security laws,
according to
if
the
you're a
Biden
terrorist organization, you do.
administration, White male conservatives are the biggest threat to America, which is, if you look at the numbers and the data, is laughable, right? Because it's simply not true, right? If you look at crime statistics, but here's the real problem, right? You talk about the Crips and the Bloods. Okay, let's go to O Block in Chicago, right, where people are terrified to leave their house. Black people, right? Well, you have neighborhoods here in Houston. You have neighborhoods in every major city in this country where law-abiding, rule-following, good black people have lived lives beset by crime and terror.
And so
every
you talking
single
like that
damn
is
day.
supposed to make
And
us
those
feel
people-
better
and
when the
those
Trump
people-
administration labels
well,
our children as terrorists in these street
well, no, I
organizations,
think that-
such as O Block,
Okay.
to try to justify imprisoning your children with
Quanell,
no trial,
Quanell.
no lawyers, no court date, no access to counsel, no communication,
But that's
and
not
then
allowed.
cut a deal.
That's not allowed.
Yes, it is.
It's
if
called
you're
due
charged
process.
under terrorist
No,
laws
you're
in America.
not. Due process
if you're
applies.
charged under
The-
terrorist
no.
laws in America, yes, it
The
is.
law that Trump is
Your kids will be
using-
in Guantanamo Bay
you just
with no
sound like
lawyer.
Simone Sayer. You're
and
lying.
I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, Crips, Bloods, gang members, you got to wake up, brothers. Stop the foolishness of killing each other. Our rappers, you're rapping self-destruction and madness, and you're rapping that which is useless to us as a people. Many of you. You gotta recognize what's coming for young black males in America. Trump is going to turn and unleash the government's three-letter agencies on black male youth in particular, and they're going to send us to them same damn prisons in El Salvador and Nicaragua and other third world countries, and I'm telling you, it's coming. Venezuela will be on our list next because of what we are doing to one another. There will be no outcry from the American people. They'll just say he's getting rid of the thugs and the worst gang members the same way he's saying about them Hispanics right now.
You're talking about Trump is coming for your children. Trump is not coming for your children because none of your children are in criminal street gangs. They're all well-educated,
He's coming for black children,
people.
Charles.
No,
he is.
Here's the thing. I hope our government comes for every person that is engaging in organized crime violence, whether they're white, black, brown, Latino, whatever. And the truth is that he is using a special law that just allows him, in his Justice Department's mindset, to address the issue of foreign nationals.
He's already talking about
gangs.
running for a third term.
It's very different. You were just scaremongering.
The man already said that there would be a way for him to run.
Look, and
he already said that was him to run.
I'm sitting here sticking up for Trump. You're the Trump fan.
No, not me.
I don't like Donald Trump.
I'm telling the truth of what's going on. That man was talking about a third term. Watch.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Cisco father sparked storm online after showing what it's like to walk down the block.
Go, baby. Vas bien.
Keep going, you're good. Andres Weekend has clearly had enough, as even leaving his home has become dangerous in the Democrat-run city. The man called on police and officials demanding action be taken. His video horrified internet users. Many have supported the man, saying this must be stopped, but some have tried to blame the victim, saying Weekend is a bad father for getting his daughter to walk the streets.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, we just watched a disturbing video out of San Francisco, California, that shows the degree of the fall of the city when it comes to homelessness, drug addicts, drug addiction, and these people just living in random neighborhoods, taking over the corners and the sidewalks, just totally intoxicated with drugs, and some of them can't even stand up, barely just bending over, hanging over. And he's walking with his daughter down the street to make a point. It's a shame that San Francisco, parts of it, has failed like that to that degree, and something needs to be done. But I have to question this man. As a father,
I would never walk my baby girl down the middle of a sidewalk where drug addicts are everywhere, dope fiends everywhere, because I want to make a TikTok video to make a point? As a father, you could walk down that same sidewalk and make a video without your daughter to stress the point you're trying to make. Why would you put your daughter in harm's way like that? Our children deserve to walk down the streets in their neighborhood without seeing that, yes. But until it's cleaned up and properly addressed, why in the hell would you put your own child, a toddler, in the middle of that sidewalk with all of that danger because you want to make a social media point for clicks and likes?
I could not disagree more. Imagine that, right? This was outside their home. This was the street that they walk on. The daughter likes to ride her little scooter, and this is what she has to deal with every day. It harkens back to the segment we just talked about the you called it domestic terrorism. I just think it's crime that has been so casually ignored for the last decade by the Democrats in Democrat-controlled cities and Democrat-controlled states. Right there, I have all kinds of issues with Republicans, but the Democratic Party has just basically abandoned America with a bunch of performative virtue signaling nonsense, right? And it has allowed the homeless people to be a diversionary a prop for them, where they can say, "Oh, taxpayers, you need to give us billions of dollars." And what we're finding out almost daily in America now is that those billions of dollars, they can't be accounted for. They've been squandered, and the homelessness issue has only been exacerbated. And what we need is people willing to take a stand, especially in incredibly far left cities like San Francisco, where we're seeing this father be vilified on social media because he's taking a stand and he's exposing the horrible
Would
reality.
you have done
that? If it was right outside my doorstep.
To make a TikTok video.
He was trying to call attention to the problem to get the problem fixed.
And he needed his daughter in the middle of it to do it.
But look, if she wanted to go ride her little scooter, and this is the condition the squalor she has to deal with every time she rides her scooter, absolutely I would have done it.
And he couldn't go out there and say, "Look, I got a toddler in the house. I got a baby in the house.
Care?
She likes to ride her
You
scooter.
think
She likes to ride on the sidewalk. But I can't take her outside. And
who
look,
we have
this is why I
celebrated
can't
as the
take
new
her outside."
American heroes. Oh, they're so sad.
So
they're
Charles,
mentally ill.
you would
They
have put
can't
your
do
daughter
anything
in
but
that type of harm's way.
take a dump on the street.
As a father, you'd have put your daughter, your
That's his
toddler,
whole point.
in the middle of harm to
That's
make a
his whole point.
a
He
social
doesn't-
media point.
He doesn't have
Disagree
a
with that.
choice. This is
What?
the whole thing.
He could have left his daughter inside the house, came out and made the same video.
Okay, in San Francisco, you can't go to a park. They've taken over the parks. You have all these bleeding heart leftists that want to coddle and treat these homeless like they're poor.
Let me ask you a question.
So just all these
Do
poor
drug
things.
addicts rob people?
Yes.
Do drug addicts sometimes unfortunately kill people?
Of course.
Do drug addicts tend to stick you up to get your wallet and get your money out your pocket to buy dope?
Most certainly.
What would have happened if one of them drug addicts had pulled a weapon to try to rob that father while that little baby was with him?
Well, here's the deal. If this
You don't put your baby in that harm's way.
It's right outside their home. If this is what she's having to deal with and he's having to deal with every day, just
But
so she can
what
ride
if
her
one of them
scooter.
drug addicts had tried to
So
rob
what, do
him?
you lock her in the house?
Charles.
Do you not let her ride her
Let me tell you
scooter?
something. Ain't nowhere in the hell I'd have brought my child out and put my child in that type of danger as a toddler to make a point on TikTok for likes.
I don't think he.
And then to claim I'm doing it for awareness. Charles, there
good
was
for him.
better ways
We're talking
to
about
bring the awareness.
The video has us talking about the nightmare situation in San Francisco.
I'm talking about the nightmare
and the problem
situation
when you
that he
elect
could
these
have
far
created
left
by doing that,
idiots
Charles.
who don't want to keep people safe. Just like the idiots that want to let this country get flooded with monsters instead of vetting
Clean the
people
place up.
and allowing people that
The
are coming
place should
here
be
to-
cleaned up. I have
Of
no
course
problem
it
with
should
that.
be.
But I
Well-
don't believe that you use your toddler daughter to make that point.
Okay, I think that it made an effective point. It allowed us to talk about this situation, and these are the conversations we need to have. It's like people that just demonize all immigrants. This country is built on immigration. We need more people here. We need more consumers
was
here.
built
We
on
need
what?
more people. It's built on immigration.
Black folks built
Okay.
this country, and we wasn't immigrants.
Okay.
And we built
Anyhow.
it for free.
But right now,
Didn't pay us a
we
penny.
have lawlessness, and we have a government that is not doing what it needs to do to keep people safe, and this man made a great point doing it.
I disagree with this man totally with how he handled that situation.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored. A reminder tonight, there's nothing wrong with balling on a budget, but there's a lot of people out there faking a lavish lifestyle to impress others. You know who you are. While they are secretly being driven into debt, and that's definitely not a good thing. Now, according to my next guest, trying to keep up with the Joneses just isn't worth it.
Well, the gang's all here, and guys, we're talking about those poor individuals out there who may be living beyond their means. They are wearing the Gucci belts, the Louis Vuitton shoes. I guess, do they have Louis Vuitton shoes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
digging
still paying on them.
What's that?